Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike O'Malley here with the Hurricane Outlook and discussion for October 7th, 2022, around 1:15 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a lot to talk about today, including a hurricane threat increasing for Central America. So let's go and jump straight into everything. Taking a look at Tropical Storm Julia today, we noticed that the circulation has become a lot better defined than what it was in the past couple of days. And now that we have a well-defined circulation, the storm is beginning to pull away from land. And we notice how we have deep convective burst forming pretty close to the circulation. There is still a little bit of shear over top of the system, pushing most of the convection off to the south at the moment, but the overall envelope of energy is becoming better organized, and it seems like this is going to rapidly intensify as it moves towards the coast here of Central America. Looking at the track forecast for this system, we notice that Julia is expected to become a hurricane sometime by Saturday evening as this approaches the Central American coastline. There is now a hurricane watch that has been issued for portions of Central America and a tropical storm watch all the way to the northern part there of the coast of Central America, as this is expected to be an expanding storm but rapidly intensifying as it nears landfall here sometime by early Sunday morning, and then likely will continue inland across portions of Central America, dumping heavy rainfall, eventually weakening into a post-tropical cyclone sometime by Monday morning. If we look at how strong Tropical Storm Julia could get over the next couple of days, this is the 06C H-Wharf here. We're looking at the 200 millibar wind pattern. We notice that the current environment of the storm is characterized by a little bit of northerly shear, as there's an upper level low right here, and some northerly shear is being generated over top of our cyclone today, pushing the deeper convection towards the south. Now, if we continue to move this forward out in time, though, we notice that by sometime on Saturday, by Saturday afternoon here, this actually begins to change. We align the storm now under the upper level anticyclone with expansive outflow stretching all the way out here into the Gulf of Mexico. And the storm is now able to rapidly intensify as it begins to build this intercore and actually begins to align itself under more favorable conditions here. Now, if we look at the moisture here, we also notice that this will be enveloped within a pretty nice moisture pool at this time, but there might be just a sliver of dry air that tries to get entrained from time to time. We saw this very similar to Ian, so it'll be interesting to see if this is actually going to be a problem. But continuing forward in time here, we notice that this continued to intensify all the way up until landfall. 958 millibars likely will be a category 2 or 3 hurricane on this particular run here. And then this begins to move inland as time goes on and then continues to move off towards the north and west. Some models do have this hinting at re-emerging into the southern Gulf of Mexico here, maybe into the Bay of Campeche, but we notice that the environment is going to be relatively unfavorable within about 4 to 5 days if anything does make it out here. So I'm not really concerned for any substantial development out here in the Gulf of Mexico shall a system get out there. Taking a look at our Futurecast product, this measures the impact risk that you can sensibly feel. So we have this impact risk here, and we'll continue this out. This starts here at Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we'll go ahead and run this forward. So we notice by 8 p.m. Saturday that impact is beginning to increase right along the coastal areas. You have that elevated risk extending about 20 to 50 miles inland at this point, with that elevated risk now beginning to increase across those far coastal regions across eastern Central America. And this begins to increase as we head throughout the evening Saturday and into the morning on Sunday. By early Sunday morning, this is around 8 o'clock in the morning Sunday, we notice that those high impacts are now beginning to spread inland as those heavy rain bands and gusty winds begin to spread inland. Again, right now, the main concern, especially for the coastal areas, is going to be that high wind threat and the potential for that not only storm surge, but also that very heavy rainfall, which we'll get to here in a minute. But you can see those high impacts now beginning to spread inland as those rain chances also begin to go up. So by the time we get to 12 a.m. Monday morning, we can notice that those significant impacts are now beginning to spread well inland across portions of Nicaragua and Honduras and portions of Central America. This is going to be an extreme rainfall event once this gets inland, as the circulation is likely to dissipate, so the wind will come down, but that rain will be a very substantial problem. Now, looking at the Futurecast rainfall totals, this begins here at Saturday 8 o'clock in the morning, and we'll go ahead and run this forward. So we take a look here at the Futurecast estimated rainfall totals for Sunday at 8 o'clock in the morning. We notice that those rainfall totals right along the coast are beginning to increase substantially, now approaching about 5 to 7 inches right across the coastline here. This is going to be a substantial threat even inland as that rainfall threat continues to spread as the storm begins to make landfall. We can see here by Sunday at 8 o'clock in the evening, we have those elevated rainfall totals over 8 inches and even some 10 plus inch rainfall totals that are now spreading well inland across portions of Central America, with even as much as 5 to 6 inches of rainfall spreading well inland across portions of Central America, Honduras, Nicaragua. Those areas are going to be battered by the extreme rainfall totals that this area is about to receive from what will be Hurricane Julia. Now, if we take a quick look here at our estimated wind gust product here on the Futurecast product, this starts at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and we'll go ahead and run this forward. We can see here by Saturday at 10 o'clock in the evening, we have those elevated wind gusts, now 35 to 40 miles per hour, reaching the coastline here. And again, this is going to be track dependent and timing dependent, so these could arrive a little bit earlier or a little bit later. But the bottom line is by Saturday evening, those wind gusts now approaching 35 to 40 miles per hour right along the coast, and even breezy far inland, about 15 to 25 mile per hour gusts can be expected even well inland. By 4 a.m. Sunday morning, we start to see those wind gusts really begin to ramp up across the area. Across portions of the eastern coastal areas there of Central America, wind gusts now could be reaching as high as 80 miles per hour or just about 75 knots right along the eastern part of the coast there. And even well inland, you're getting those tropical storm force gusts as well, gusting close to 50 knots at times. By Sunday at 8 a.m. in the morning, we start to see those wind gusts now elevated to over 85 knots or 90 miles per hour in spots right along the coastal regions, with gusts up to hurricane force extending as far as 50 to 100 miles inland at times. So this is going to be a very serious situation. And again, please heed your local government officials and local meteorologists for the best information, and make sure to evacuate along the coast if you are told to do so, and have your hurricane preparedness plans ready and activated. So with that being said, I do hope you have a great rest of your afternoon and evening. Of course, I am Michael O'Malley, and I'll be talking to you guys again some more tomorrow.